close to midnight on a Sunday, inching, creeping towards a Monday, the day we load because some of us like me have to go to work. So let me just set up right here, the green screen, make sure you can take me seriously. God damn it, there we go. Yap Break Radio is official. How you doing? How's it going? What's going on? Let me see if I can pin the comment here. I can't do it here, right? No, I gotta do it on the laptop. All right, never mind that. Yap Break Radio, we're back on AhhFuGGiT, at AhhFuGGiT1 on all the socials, as well as right here on YouTube, at AhhFuGGiT1, the tag for the channel right here. So if you're new, you're coming back, whatever, if you haven't subscribed by any chance, I'd appreciate it if you do so. At AhhFuGGiT1, sub, like, comment, share, whatever you gotta do with it. Appreciate it, and appreciative of that. I mean, we're fresh off Christmas week, so yeah, that one is in the history books now. It's like 360 some odd days left until Christmas next time comes around. So now we're focused on the new year, which is coming up. What is it? Wednesday midnight is when it transitions into the new year. So we got 2026 on the horizon. I got new gear to actually help out this time with the sake of the sound, because I know doing it live from down here in the laundry room of my building would probably be really hectic on one's ears, as far as me just doing it bare phone. And I've been meaning to get this little adapter thing anyway for the phone, because I really wanted to take my sound on the lives. This is possible. If I end up doing some more interviews via Instagram Live and such and all that shit. So yeah, here we are, we're live. I hope you enjoyed your Christmas and or your Kwanzaa, your Hanukkah, if that's still going on. Honestly, I don't know if it is or it ain't. If it is, great. If it 8 days, 8 nights are done, then, you know, I hope you had them to enjoy at your leisure, with family surrounding you, with the family you choose to have around you, surrounding you. All that good shit, very low-key, very subtle for me and the fiance at home. I cooked, of course. I did a live for that shit, but I think I forgot to hit save or something like that, so it got deleted. So that was gone. But recapping that, Christmas Day I had to cook, which I do normally the other 364 days a year anyways. I'm the one that cooks, I'm the one that cleans, I'm the one that pays the bills, all that shit. Hey, it's just what it is though. No hating on my fiance for that. Not saying she's incapable of doing so, but believe me when I say, and I think she might have done it on purpose at some point, she is not a good cook. She cooks like shit. So I had to come in to save the day for both of us. If not, then it's, you know, Uber Eats, DoorDash, whatever else is available, or like a meal subscription plan, which is like way too much as far as like, what the fuck ain't costing too much nowadays to cook at home, to cook for yourself, to get a meal subscription plan, whatever the fuck those shits cost, the butcher box and all. I was looking at butcher box at some point, but that was like too much meat, pause, for, you know, just whatever they got going on there to offer. Too much meat. There is such a thing, pause, too much meat. Even though I am like, I wouldn't say like carnivore vibes, but more like I like a nice slab of meat, red meat. I enjoy that. Chicken, like tender, juicy chicken breast to munch on, the chew on, all that. Big V South Philly, 215. You got an extra room for rent? Sorry, brother, not at the moment. I do not. So I'm not going to be subletting or renting to nobody. Growing up, we had to do that, my mother and I. So yeah, that comes with its own headaches. I don't want to say nightmares, because I'm not going to exaggerate here like a Spanish mother would, dramatize everything. But yeah, it comes with its own headaches. Never ever would I sublet. Of course, I know you're kidding. And hello right back to you, and anybody else watching right now too, or chiming in, dropping in, whatever. So yeah, I did a very basic ass. I made it easy for myself, as I try to do. I try to, like, you know, ration out the shit for the week, because I don't want to be stuck cooking every single night, doing what I gotta do just to fucking eat. Because again, otherwise she's a very bad cook, and she's got nothing to offer as far as like literally putting anything on the plate, or putting a plate together of food. Meanwhile, I'm the one stuck doing everything. But you know, it's all right. You manage. You do your little life hacks. You cook Sunday night in advance for like at least half the week. Frying pan or the pot in the stove, and trying to see, oh, what can I do tonight, kind of thing. I don't mind doing that. You know, repeating the same dish. One big thing of pasta, one big thing of like what she got me using that I'm not a fan of, but she's like trying to get us to eat healthy. What's that thing called? The crock pot. The crock pot, yeah. We're doing a crock pot with the chicken in there, let it do its thing for like under an hour, cook, get it shredded, chop it up with a fucking fork. Save that for the week, throw it into a salad. I might have to start using like some sour cream or maybe some more olive oil. I don't know what the fuck I can add to that, because while very healthy and while it does give us some chicken broth, it's some really dry, bland ass chicken, and I hate it. I've already gotten tired of it. I've been doing it for a while because she's insisted on it, but otherwise, like, I could really do without it. It's just like, it's not my favorite thing to prepare, but for the sake of being healthy, you get older, cholesterol, high blood pressure becomes an issue. You gotta, cut back on the sweets. I don't know how about any of you out there. I'm a sweet and salty tooth. So, meaning I get a craving for the sweet, then I want something salty right after. So I don't really lean more towards, I have my days where I do both. I gotta do like something, I guess you could say a little bit of sodium rich in it, and then I gotta do something with like a little bit of touch of sweetness to it, but not overdoing it either, because we're not trying to get diabetes or any of that shit out here either. So I guess if anything for the sweets, I really try to cut down to my morning cup of coffee with just like cream, and I've swapped out the white sugar for the brown sugar instead, which, as much as I read about it now, ain't too much better. It's just like a touch, a smidge better, but better is better to an extent, to a degree. Brown sugar over white sugar, I can't really taste the difference, besides at least there's a little bit of a touch of sweetness in my cup of coffee in the morning along with the cream. I need the cream, I need the half and half pause, I need it in the fucking cup of coffee. Tell me in the comments, either live now or we watching this back, whatever, however you choose to do it. How do you take your coffee? Do you do cream? Well, how about this? How about your coffee, right? I think it's universal at this point, or unless you do tea, I don't know, whatever applies to you. But I've seen people drink tea with cream, and oddly enough, green tea with cream as well. Do you add milk and or cream, or any, the nut milks, any of the variants of milks that ain't from a cow's tit? And if you do, what do? Milk, cream, skim milk, whatever it is. I do cream. But also now another question to add on to that is, if you do cream, milk, whatever, do you do like a touch of it, meaning your cup of coffee is dark? Do you do enough of it where it's present when it's like regular, like amount of whatever? Or do you like me when I go a little bit above regular and I add it so much where the cream practically turns like, I guess maybe you could say my complexion? But then I know when I see that, I overdid it. That's too much cream, so then I gotta add it up, top it off with some more coffee left in the pot, right? I don't know, I'm curious to see, because coffee ain't so much a touchy subject, it's more like, it makes you curious to see how other people do it. If you're doing it wrong, maybe you need, do something different with yours. Rob Mac-R7V. My therapist wants me on SSRI meds to help with my same-sex cocaine habit. What should I do with my cat? Don't fuck your cat. I don't know, I can't really help you with that one. That seems like too deep, too off the far end for me or your therapist to even handle. Maybe you need to, I don't know, take it easy on everything. Take it easy with this thing called life, Rob Mac. But yeah, cream, I'm Spanish, so maybe that explains why I do cream in the coffee, brown sugar instead of white now. I used to, do the white sugar mostly. But then when I go to Dunkin' Donuts and I get coffee, mainly iced coffee. I don't do hot coffee at all unless it's at home. I do the iced coffee at Dunkin' Donuts. If I'm feeling fat, I'll do the butter pecan, like a couple of pumps of that shit in there with cream. I used to do with sugar, but then I seen that they do instead of, but there's an option apparently in the app when you order in advance, right? Sugar. But then even within sugar, there's like a subcategory of doing either the liquid sugar, which is like syrup, clear, transparent, clear as sugar in a bottle. They just pump into it depending on like, oh, you want 2, 3 sugars, pump, whatever. Versus now just regular sugar, which is the powdered sugar in like little packets that apparently, I guess they're too lazy at Dunkin' Donuts to even like rip the packets open and do it like that or scoop it from a sugar container. And instead they do the pump into the liquid sugar. And yeah, this is first world problems. I ask in the app specifically for a time. Sugar, like the granulated sugar, right? And they won't do that. I seen when I pull up to them before they get finished making my order and ready to hand it off to like a mobile order pickup part, I see they pumped the sugar into my shit. And it's like, well, I'm not gonna get upset at that because, I get it. You're working Dunkin' Donuts, you're gonna just, you probably got a lot of orders coming in, drive through, especially if they got one of those setups. So I can't really get mad at that, but now I know at least basically no sugar when I get it from Dunkin' Donuts, and I'll just get sugar on the side myself. I don't do that to Tim Hortons because where I live at right now, Buffalo, there's a lot more Tim Hortons versus Dunkin' Donuts. You gotta like look and scramble at Tim Hortons, and this isn't to criticize, nobody based on their capability of speaking the English language, speaking no English, but there's a lot of speaking no English going on there. Well, the last time I went to Tim Hortons was just iced coffee, cream. I didn't want to take a risk with their syrup or their like sweeteners like that, so I just said, can I get sugar on the side? When the lady handed me my shit. No speaking English, I don't know what fucking language she spoke, like natively, like Spanish or I don't know what. And again, not to put it down, but it's like I kept repeating, can I get sugar on the side? Loud enough, clear enough, I think she'd be able to understand that at least, but it's like apparently somebody else, a coworker, got to step in after like getting away from the drive-through, busy as he was, like, oh, sugar on the side, okay, I got you, boom, whatever. That's Tim Hortons, I guess I'm done with it, because Tim Hortons really is just Dunkin' Donuts, just with a different name, and I guess a little bit more to offer. No, they gotta buy the same shit. Donuts, croissants, danishes, cookies, coffee, obviously, sandwiches. Their sandwiches might have more variety though compared to Dunkin' Donuts. Dunkin' Donuts, I miss Dunkin' Donuts, it literally just was coffee and just donuts. Hence the name. The frequency force, you can pray the gay away, brother. The gay? Why are you gay? Nah, not me, bro. I just like cream in my coffee, that don't make me gay. SH-JB900 or 00, sugar on my tongue. Yeah, shouts to Tyler, Creator. Annoying ass song, but it's a hit. Good for him, I guess. I still gotta listen to that album, but all right, that's neither here nor there. Maybe one day I'll get around to it. Then again, I just only finished the Clips album a week ago or so. I'm mad I didn't get to it sooner. Same thing with the Nas and the DJ Premier shit. Lightspeed, I forget what it's called. I'm old. I forget what shit's called. Like. And I just listened to it properly. But if you hear rumbling in the background, that ain't my guts. That's me doing laundry right now, waiting for that to finish so I can stick the shit into the dryer, which is just about to be done right now. And let's see. Ain't the last minute left on the washing machine the longest minute of your life, aka the biggest lie they tell you as an adult? 1 minute, it'll be done, and it's never done within that minute, but whatever. You're waiting for it to finish. Thank you for joining me here on Yap Break Radio, of course, at seconds away from midnight on the Sunday. So I'm sure you had better things to do throughout the day, but I'm glad you're here now listening, chiming in with the comments. Everybody's trying to be funny, hey, we can play the gay away. Why are you gay? That's a good meme. That's a timeless meme right now. Why are you gay? Who said I'm gay? You are gay. However, when I forget already, but why are you gay? And whenever I hear why are you gay? I think about the Knuckles meme with this is the way. With the same accent, I guess you could throw it on there. Let's see, while I'm waiting for this long ass last minute of this alleged final cycle of this washing machine. Right, so bald. I'm bald, as you can see. My hairline is very, non-compliant. Failed to show up today, punching on the clock. I am bald. Yeah, I'm bald. Yeah. I mean, come on, I've been bald now. I've been bald. I've been shaving my head bald clean for, God, I think 5 years now, almost, maybe 6, since a little before the pandemic. So I guess, yeah, I can say legally, technically, I am bald, even though I have hair that does grow like around here, like what do you call it, like a horseshoe. It's just around here, this main middle strip right here towards the front where my forehead used to be. That's been disappeared. Nothing grows, not really. This is like maybe like a week of just not shaving whatsoever. So that's the whole point of this title right now for this one is that yeah, it's just one of those. I've just been too lazy to be bothered with shaving, with grooming, with maintenance. And you'd like to think, maybe, you would assume, probably, perhaps, that being bald is easier on you, or lighter maintenance, less to do in that sense. Take it from me firsthand if you're not bald. If you're not bald, good for you. Try not to go bald if that's possible at all in your case. Genetically speaking, I was already predisposed because I'm just moving my laundry to the dryer right now. I was already genetically predisposed to go bald. I had no dog in that fight. I had no say on that whatsoever. It was just gonna happen because I probably explained before, like as I've seen the men on my mom's side of the family, apparently that's how genetically speaking you're supposed to look at. They were all bald by like early 30s. So if I take mostly after my mother looks wise, which I do, then I was bound to be fucked in that sense with losing my hair. And of course, not to make it about stereotypes. Not to make it about stereotypes, not to make it about, oh, well, I'm Spanish, I have too much pride to ever go bald, but then, I'm just gonna keep this like 1-2 strand of Homer Simpson ass hair on my head and just like, cowlick it sideways. I'm not doing that to myself. I have enough pride in myself to just one day, had been like 5 years ago now speaking, it's gotta all come off. Fuck it. Oh shit, I gotta turn on this thing right now. I wonder if I switch out the Apple, let's pause or, fuck. Totally forgot that part. All right, give me a second. I think if anything does happen or if this cuts off, I'll just come back. I'll just come back to this thing and hopefully you'll be back too. But if not, then, whatever. Caden Henderson, why did you comment sugar on my tongue? That's a good question to ask SH-JB900. I mean, you might want to ask him what he's talking about. Well, obviously he's referencing the song. As I mentioned, I do like sugar, just not liquid sugar, pause, in my coffee from Dunkin' Donuts. But, you might want to ask him, like, by the comment that shit or the one above him, you can pray the gay away, bro. Which, hey, you want to pray the gay away, that's on your time, your choice of lifestyle. Hold on a second, I'll be right back. If anything, just stay tuned. Check. Am I still live? I hope so. Yeah, it looks like I'm still live. There's still a clock running down on the YouTube end of things. Hold on, let me move away from this thing. It's not so loud. Yeah, so, oh shit, the lighting's not so good here. We're doing this, right? Oh, there we go. Maybe we do it right here. Ah, shit. God damn it. There we go. Yeah, it's better. There we go. All right, so what was I saying? Right. So on my mom's side of the family, all the guys on her side of the family were the ones that went bald. Like, again, early 30s, so I was like predestined. I was goddamned to go bald by that point in time. So I lasted until about like 34 or so with some hair, allegedly, apparently. The forehead was showing like transparent, translucent, on some ghost shit. And then the back of my head was like, I wasn't made aware of the back of my head until like, goddamn, I think like 33 almost. That was my second to last barber that pointed that out. After he had suggested, what's that shit called? Like that little black powder, it looks like gunpowder, you like sprinkle on the back of someone's head to like cover up the bald spot, but if they sweat or get wet, it just comes streaking down. Smudges like eyeliner. Yeah, that was my wake-up call of that shit. I swear to God I didn't know, because again, who the fuck looks in the back of their head like that? But the front the front had been going for a while. I was like really trying to be like one of those that like plays it off where you kind of comb it to the side, you kind of comb it towards the front, down the left, a little bit with, enough mousse to the front, so like, not too much mousse in the front so that the hair don't thin out like that. You can kind of like horse hay it together and then be all right or fool somebody, but then the right gust of wind hits you at the right angle, then it's all kind of shit. So I would spend my 15, 20 minutes of my days in the bathroom really trying to like mold it, style it before work to see if I could fool somebody just to step outside. Gust of wind big enough to blow it, and it's all that work down the toilet, literally. So then eventually when I went bald, it was just like, I had to. It was like just too much to commit to. Whatever hair did grow was like embarrassing, like all missing up front where the forehead is. So if anything, I just got a huge, never-ending forehead when I go bald, but it's all right. I'm used to it by now. It's not the worst thing in the world, but yeah, the holidays at least, I guess, Christmas, New Year's now coming up, I've just been too lazy to even bother to shave it all off like I would have to normally. Because the irony of it all is that I've got so much hair that still grows on the sides, as you can see here, that still comes in thick, that still comes in like, it's present. Like the seedlings, all the little shit I got going on there, that still comes in like thick, dark. So it almost makes you think, if I let it grow out a little bit, will the middle towards the front come together like that again? And it really doesn't. It doesn't anymore. It hasn't for a while. So I'm kind of fucked in that sense. But again, with the holidays, this past week, Christmas, this coming week, well, now we're in this week now, Monday, New Year's, I've been really lazy to keep up the maintenance, the grooming required to even upkeep my appearance per se, because then that will mean shaving the top all the way around my head and the sides, because on top of all that too, I cannot grow a beard. And I've never been able to grow a beard for as old as I am now. It's not the worst thing in the world though. I mean, like, it's just one of those, like, as you can see the beard right now, it don't connect. This is like maybe, I don't want to lie. I want to say maybe a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks of growth. So it's like pretty pathetic. That might also feed to the fact that I am, because the Asian genetics with the facial hairs is really lacking, really like not present. So that might feed into a rumor that, I am Japanese. At least one of my grandparents were, to an extent. Maybe that's what it is, I don't know. Or, Spanish people, Spanish people mostly known for mustaches and soul patches and shit, not like great goatees, or, depending on what kind of Spanish you are, Hispanic, excuse me, Latino, I mean to say, excuse me. You might just do like the pencil chin strap, which I hate. It always looks so stupid to me, but I could do that. Actually, could I? I think if I make it really thin, like pussy hair thin, like all around the chin right here, I might be able to pull off that chin strap beard. Maybe. But even then, like, I got weight to lose. I'm not gonna like expose my double chin like that by doing that to myself. My eyebrows are bushy, and I can't find an eyebrow threading place up here in Buffalo, so it's like I'm a lost cause at this point. My best friend is my fucking blade and my shaving cream to take the top of my head and all along my face. But again, Christmas and New Year's and such, I just been too fucking lazy. That's just what it is. It'd be easy being a woman just in the sense of having hair and just being able to comb that shit and praying for the best. Even if the wind blows, it's like good long enough hair, it's just like flapping in the wind like that, But being bald ain't easy. It really ain't. It's just, again, at least for me, because the hair I do have left that still kind of grows in and or comes in like that to show its presence still, like kind of, like a bad joke towards me and my expense. Genetically, I'm getting pumped, like that AhhFuGGiT show, right? It shows up and I gotta shave it down. It should be much more often, like at least 2 times a week, I gotta like really clean shave myself. This week with the holidays and having to make moves, with the fiance and make sure everything's in place for Christmas to have it spent properly, and it was. And, it's just lazy. This New Year's too, I gotta work tomorrow in like 9 hours, I gotta go to work. I'll be off for the rest of the week until Friday. I gotta clock back in on Friday, of all things, the end of this week, to continue working. Just off in the middle of the week. Just one of those odd cases, like, I got the PTO somewhat that I wanted, but you know, my boss, trying not to be too difficult, gave me some time off, but not all the time off I needed. So all that being said, I still got the perfect excuse to not shave, but I gotta leave town, so then, you know, I gotta look presentable to the people who are gonna be around. So then I gotta shave, if not later after this live is done, probably like tomorrow morning or something like that, or in some odd amount of hours, I'll probably shave, probably clean up my fucking face for once. But speaking of, you know, people expecting things out of you, people expecting, perhaps assuming that being bald is easy. Being bald is like, what do you gotta do? Just like shave every couple of days and that's it? Well, it's annoying, especially when you got like, on my head and face. You gotta get in there. You gotta shave constantly, you gotta shave clean and all that. Speaking of assumptions, you know, there's this thing, this is old, I know it is, but you remember that old clip, that old video that went kind of viral of, it was Jerry Seinfeld and that singer Kesha, that one-hit wonder singer Kesha, came up to him and asked for a hug. I hugged you because she was a Seinfeld fan, apparently. And he was like, oh, no, that's okay. And she asked again, she's like, no, that's okay. Basically, I don't want to, but trying to be somewhat polite about it, but also pulling his whole body away from a pop singer or a one-hit wonder. So like, no, I don't want to. And then fast forward, you got that, what was that show called with Zach Galifianakis? Between Two Ferns, right? Great show. Great times with that show. There was I believe it was a skit playing into what happened between Jerry Seinfeld and Kesha, where at the end when Cardi B is on as a guest as Jerry Seinfeld, she gets up to say goodbye to Zach, very warm, hugging, loving, all that shit, but completely ignores Jerry. And then he even says himself, this is the opposite of what happened between me and Kesha. That came up again just now on my feed, and I was looking at it like, the clip itself explains that Jerry's in on the joke or what happened, you know, and I bet you they agreed to it beforehand because Cardi is from New York, from the Bronx. I think she admitted to liking Seinfeld, as she probably should, you know, good girl in that sense. More than Friends. I don't know how people love Friends over Seinfeld, but that's just me though saying that. She was in on the joke, he was in on the joke. They made fun of it, lightened the situation, maybe after the fact, who knows afterwards. When they pointed out, hey, you totally ignored this one-hit wonder girl named Kesha for a hug. That's who you were like pulling away from on the red carpet like that and embarrassed apparently. The comment section never seems to fail with these type of videos where it's either people's first time seeing it or thinking that Jerry's an absolute asshole. Jerry Seinfeld's an absolute asshole for like turning down a hug from, in his mind, hey, Jerry Seinfeld made billions, if not close to $1 billion already at this point. From Seinfeld, from, you know, residual checks, from just having that show play on all these networks, still on live TV, right now on Netflix as I watch. That's my regular go-to show. Besides The Sopranos now, which I just finished for. It's either that or Seinfeld, just like a random couple episodes, get some quick laughs in, and then like figure out what else to watch on any of the other streaming services. That man is so fucking filthy rich and has been funny for so fucking many years, decades now. And he's of a certain age where I'm certain by the time or at the point when Kesha was a thing with her one-hit wonder ass, he's not gonna know who Kesha is. Can't blame him either because again, it's not to say like the perfect excuse is that he's just that old, like why would he know, or just call him an unk like that. Maybe he didn't know legitimately. I think he legitimately didn't know, and it wasn't until after the fact when they did the skit with Cardi B on Zach Galifianakis' show, they pointed that out to him, and he was like, okay, cool, we can make fun of that because it was just awkward that this girl, he probably didn't know she was a singer. This girl comes up to me and wants a hug from me, which he probably gets on a daily basis, but he probably gets from strangers, and he probably does the same thing. No, I don't think so. No, thank you. Please, I don't want to do that. He don't owe her a hug. Especially if I guarantee you at the time when that happened and legit happened and went down, he didn't know who the fuck Kesha was. So who was she to expect anything? And mind you, she had at least a know-it-all, Kesha, to go back to her fucking song, TikTok, and edit the shit to say fuck P. Diddy instead of whatever the line goes. It originally said like party like P. Diddy, and now it just says fuck P. Diddy after the whole shit. Well, aren't you amending the one hit you had that gave you a career, that put you on the map as far as singers are concerned, and now you have to correct it because, well, you praised the guy originally, but now only since he's been canceled and or, you know, condemned as a bad man, do you want to make up for it revising history as far as the song is concerned? I'm not here to like shit on Kesha, say she's a bad girl or whatever, but it's more like, who's Kesha to really demand a hug in the first place? As old as that is by now, who is she to demand a hug from a random guy? It is Jerry Seinfeld, and even though it seemed like she legit loves Seinfeld, the show, or Jerry Seinfeld, the person himself, who is she to demand a hug? And especially if he's like, no, the first time, maybe respect that enough to be like, okay, you know what, maybe I'm coming on too strong, too immediately, and he's in the middle talk to them. You're also being rude to them because you're coming out of nowhere as a fucking nobody, a one-hit wonder, and demanding a hug from a man that, great, you're a fan of, great, you find funny, but does the man know you? Because if you know that it doesn't even boil down to like him saying, no, thank you, I don't want to hug you, to him not knowing you, even though he made it obvious with that. It's also like stranger meets stranger. As much as you want to play it off as, oh, I'm a fan, which he probably gets every day wherever he fucking goes at this point. If he doesn't want to interact, and also even if it is like a female asking for a male to hug her back, you know, when the shoe falls on the other foot, then we get looked at like we're crazy for even like asking that. But then now back then at least, is old by now. Back then she gets looked at like the victim, looking back on that old ass clip like, oh, that was so mean of him to do. How could he be an asshole like that? Is it pretentious? Yes. It did come off a little bit snooty, like feeding into like Jerry being like, oh, you know, a little, being a little uppity about shit, acting like he's holding it now sometimes. It seems like now he's calmed down ever since, or been a little bit more relatable, more about the people ever since. But that's not being an asshole for like turning down a hug from like a random girl that I guarantee you he didn't know who she was when she came up and like, hey, Jerry Seinfeld, I love you, can I get a hug? He probably thought she was a random fan that made her way onto the fucking red carpet. How's he supposed to know she was a one-hit wonder pop singer? Even if maybe he might have known who she was. I doubt it. Why does she deserve a hug? And then the people, worst of all, commenting on this shit, the old ass clip like that was clipped in and went into the skit he did with Cardi B on Galifianakis' show, acting like, oh yeah, he got what he deserved from fucking Cardi B. He was in on the joke. She was in on the joke too. They made it painfully obvious in that clip too, and people said like, oh, he got what he deserved in the end. Justice for Kesha. Even though she had her horror stories about being in the industry, I forget how it goes exactly, but she went through a lot, apparently. I'm sorry, she had to take that L with Jerry Seinfeld, not getting the hug from him. She don't deserve it. She didn't earn it. And if he didn't want to give that out, you know, I love Jerry Seinfeld. I love Seinfeld, like I just said right now. I'm not going to run up on him asking for a hug. You know, I might just say in passing, hey, Jerry, love the show. Well, that'd be too corny. I'd probably think of something better. Well, now I'm on the spot trying to think of like what I would say to Jerry Seinfeld in passing if I saw him in the street, about like, not to be like, oh, let me not bother Jerry Seinfeld, he's like a god, but more like, you know, Jerry's gonna be like, it's hit and miss with Jerry out in the street. Most likely it's gonna be a miss. He's gonna be like, whatever, keep it moving, shit like that. He's not gonna stop for me to shake my hand or take a picture, whatever, unless he's really in the mood that day. So what would you say to Jerry Seinfeld in passing? Hey, Jerry, thanks for Seinfeld. What do you mean, me or the show? I meant the show, but you too, because without you being born, there's no Seinfeld the show, there's no you, there's no legacy, that is Seinfeld. Okay, so that'll work. How about, hey, Jerry, big fan, love you. Like, what do you mean you love me? You want a hug? You want a repeat of Kesha with history like that? You know, creep him out like that, I don't know. But, yeah, what do you say to Jerry Seinfeld in passing to be like, and does he even acknowledge you too? That there is that reality too, even though he does seem like he's a little cooler about things now, fan interaction, hopefully. How does he react to you if you just say like, hey, Jerry, thank you, big fan, love you, have a good one kind of thing. Just keep it moving. Is he like surprised by that? Is he taken aback? Or is he like, does he actually acknowledge it whatsoever? There's a lot to ponder in that sense too. But I still think, as old as that was, however long ago that was, Kesha did not deserve a hug. She wanted him to say that. Probably extend a hand out for a handshake. You know, she's young, she's cool at the time. A guy and a girl fist bump, that's cool, right? You can get away with that shit and then keep it moving otherwise. But maybe she was feeling herself because of that one fucking song she had, and she thought she might have to pull enough to do that with Jerry. I don't know. I think she meant it innocently enough, genuinely as a Seinfeld fan, as it showed obviously and clearly. But also, what was she expecting pulling up on a guy expecting a hug? Maybe she thought because I'm a girl, he'll be cool with that. I don't know what was going through her mind. Not to say she was wrong like that, but it's more like, maybe learn to work the room, but then again, one hit wonder. She wasn't here to really last too long or like reinvent music with just, TikTok as a song. Who knows? Maybe she didn't. I'm going to rule towards me. She didn't think it through was all. But that's it though. Yeah, that came up. It's just kind of like, it kind of irked me. It was all. Obviously, I talked about it for a little while right now. But other than that though, Yap Break Radio was still here. This is one, that's me. I'm Who This. I might or I might not have an episode going up this week. Probably not. It's New Year's. I don't think anyone's gonna really tune in like that. If anything, maybe I'll do a couple of these lives, probably during the day, if not at night. Guys, just bring us some things, hopefully with less noise going on in the laundry room. The more I realize and look back on it, maybe not the best choice sound-wise, because that's probably picking up like fuck in the background. But if anything too, I do a couple of podcasts just to close out with that. One called AhhFuGGiT, which will be back after New Year week. So not this week as in we're in right now, literally some minutes in, but next week coming up, I'll have if not one episode, definitely one episode, if not maybe even 2 episodes will drop in. Who This Been Watching? That's my movie/TV show review podcast, which I have a lot of fun just shitting on a movie if it's bad or really bigging it up if it's good. Maybe that one I will have a couple episodes up this week just to clear out the backlog of shit I've been meaning to upload for a minute now. Maybe a couple of clips to go along with it too. So if you haven't already, I really would appreciate you subbing to the channel right here on YouTube at Who This Is One. If you want to reach out to me on social media, that's at Who This Is One, the same tag everywhere. I just switched from Linktree to, what was it, Beta? Meta? No, not Meta, that's Facebook shit. Beta, something, acon.ai, something like that, for like all the links in the description to everywhere you gotta like reach out to me with, or whatever else I got going on pretty much too. So, I'll be back on here, Yap Break Radio, throughout the week. Check me out then. I appreciate you. Everybody who commented on stuff not related to what I was talking to. Well, what are you gonna do, right? It's YouTube, it's all right, it's all good. It's all in fun, appreciate it. On the Instagram, on the TikTok, on Twitter, again, at Who This Is One. At Who This Is One right here is the tag for YouTube. To sub if you haven't already. It's that Who This Is One. I'll check you later for another installment of Yap Break Radio.